You beat me that time.
By about what? What would you say there? 4 milliseconds?
I think 3.
2, 1. It's the Shant and Ari podcast, you guys. Episode number 53. Emphasis on the 3. Shant, how you feeling tonight, big guy?
Feeling good, even though it should be 54. But, things came up last week.
When did it come up, would you say? Roughly around 3 p.m. that day?
No, I don't know, man. It was a couple of days before AC went out. So I could not do a podcast in the heat. Didn't feel like doing it in my parents' house when they're like going to be looking at me like weird. Because I was staying with my parents. They would have been like, Ari, what's this? Just the whole time.
And showing me Lexuses on CarMax.
Yeah. He got the Lexus.
Really?
Yeah, he got it.
Go with.
What?
Which one did he end up going with?
We went with another car broker we used.
Ah, nice. Somebody that's used, I presume.
Yeah. He went with that blue one from CarMax.
Did he pay for them to bring in from out of state?
Yeah, I think so. But he was trying to nickel and dime and haggle them, and I'm like, dude, you can't. Like,
this guy has no idea what you're doing right now.
So funny story, dude. It's messed up, but it's funny. So my dad can't hear very well, right? A, he just can't hear very well, and B, I think he just is used to saying, huh, what? Like, right? So the guy who was helping us, great guy, like really nice guy, but he had a hearing problem, right? And so he had someone with him, which was pretty cool what they did, CarMax. Big ups to you. They hired someone to like help him hear and talk, communicate, which was great, right? So
that's
what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Big up to CarMax. But the best parts were when like she had to go somewhere real quick, and it was my dad versus him, both not hearing each other. It was just amazing.
Huh?
My dad's like, oh, it has a sunroof. And he's like, huh? And my dad's, what? And he says something else. My dad's like, oh, it has.
Muchacho.
So good. I'm just sitting there laughing. Just.
I wish I could have been there, man.
Yeah, it would have been worth the trip from Boston to Arizona.
I still got to come. Speaking of taking various coronavirus, COVID-19 tests, that's, that Arizona, coming to Arizona would require various COVID-19 tests. One when I get there, one when I get back. It's not a good time.
Then you got to quarantine. No, I think we just got off the list. Javi sent me, we're off the hot zone list, so you don't have to quarantine after you leave Arizona now.
I don't know how you guys made it off the list. You guys were at like a 40% coronavirus, like 1 in 2 people coronavirus in Arizona. Wow. These are my jeans and my shoes.
Yeah, nice.
A little bit of a mess in the basement. Anyway, so speaking of coronavirus tests, we have a little bit of a debate going on in the group chat. We're supposed to be going on a bachelor party, and a couple of the guys got up and said, I don't want to get a coronavirus test, which kind of put a few of us, I'm not going to say whether or not if it's including me yet, kind of put a few of us just on the concerned end of the spectrum as to why the fuck wouldn't you get a test if you're going to be in a house with 10 dudes?
So whoever the bachelor is and the guy running it was like, hey, we want to continue the bachelor party, right? And they were like, the organizer was like, everyone's got to get tested because people coming, from different areas, I guess. And You're going to be together in a house, stuck, because you're not going to go out like partying, I guess, right? It's just going to be more.
Really? We're just going to be sharing bathrooms and common areas and such.
So any way to contract the virus, it's going to be that. Like,
Yeah, we're not worried about the bars. We're worried about taking a piss real quick and getting coronavirus.
so, and a few of your friends, how big is this group? I just want to get context of like.
House, for the bachelor party, we're talking about a full group. We got like 12 dudes.
Okay. And how many of them were like, F that, we're not getting this COVID test?
3.
Okay. So 3 were like, F that, we're not getting the test, but we're still coming?
That's what they're trying to get across. The rest of the guys, some of them, they don't want to talk just yet, but then a couple of them, the more vocal ones, the more sort of in-your-face ones, are like, no, you're going to get a test before you come. So,
and the best part, this is the best part of like group chats, right? Like a big one like that. Now, like 2 people are on the side talking, 2 more there. Like everyone's fucking like has their like groups.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the best.
So I don't know. I don't know how I feel exactly about how strict I should be being. I could definitely understand that. Okay, I could contract coronavirus from one of them, and I could very well come back from the bachelor party, get a test, and if I am indeed positive, then quarantine myself, not go there, not give a fuck, come back, not get tested, and go back to work like nothing happened.
And then give everyone, yeah.
But basically limit my exposure to just that group, and on the coming back, get tested and kind of, cut my losses there.
You want to, before you go, do you want to piss off those friends that said they don't want to get tested?
Yeah.
This will just fucking piss, like they'll probably go off the rail with this one. So you just say, all right, you don't have to get tested. You guys can still come, but you have to wear a mask the whole time. I'm sure they're anti-mask fucking like.
Not fucking take it off.
You sleep with the fucking mask.
That's great. So this friend of mine who's basically saying like, I'm not going to come if you don't get tested, is like, should be there, should be at the bachelor party more than the guys that aren't.
Yeah. There's like levels to like the people who should really be there. And then like all right, like let's just couple of extras, right?
So I guess the question is what would you do? Politically correct thing to do right now is respect the majority and do what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
But when they're insisting that what they're doing should be acceptable, what would you do? Would you not go just to not make it a thing? You don't want to risk friendship? Or would you really, really put your foot down and try to have a talk with them like, bro, why would you even risk your own health? Like what goes through your mind as like a logical next step?
So first of all, what is their like concern about getting tested? Is it just they feel it's fake?
Yeah.
So if it's fake, go get tested and whatever. Like, what's the big fucking deal?
The issue is okay, like we're getting together here in our backyards. We're going out to restaurants here, socially distant. What's the big deal? And this other friend of mine is saying, like, no, dickhead, we're sharing bathrooms.
Yeah,
we're sharing door handles. We're not disinfecting every fucking time that you touch the fridge door.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at some point, like if the majority says, this is the plan, regardless of what you feel, You just got to stop not being an idiot and just go with everyone else, unfortunately, because these are your friends. It's not like this is a group of people that strangers and you're like, fuck you. This is, your friends. You just got to respect your friends. Be like, all right, this is what they want. It's stupid. I'm just going to do it. They could say it's stupid. Just fucking get over yourselves.
Right. And even more and even more of a relevant topic, the whole Trump Biden thing has been coming up more and more in the group chat, in the store, on my YouTube.
Oh wow, on your YouTube too, huh?
It's just becoming more and more of a thing. And I'm sort of curious as to exactly how you feel about this whole subject, especially when it relates to work, the work atmosphere, and then dealing with clients. So just a little background. I'm sure the thousands of people listening to this, there's got to be a couple that don't know. I'm from a liberal state. I'm from a left-wing state. You're from a right-wing state.
Yeah.
Republican background. Shant did vote for Trump. Who he voted for. But Arizona is just Trump nation.
I haven't voted since the first Obama vote.
You didn't even need to vote for him the second time around because it was just all day. We just knew he was going to get it.
And we were getting fucked, so.
Right. So I guess the question is first and foremost, do you talk politics at work, yes or no?
Yes. But so the guy I'm with at the office, like we just kind of like laugh at everything. It's a different, like, we don't have stances, right? Like fucking like drawing the fucking the line in the sand of like, like this is it. It's more we just laugh at everyone else kind of like doing that. And we just don't really care. So that's kind of what we discuss at work.
So you guys are pretty much, you're in the middle. You're not hard left. You're not hard right. You're just sort of, you just want what's good for the country.
Yeah, like common sense shit. Like,
okay. So I got an employee that insists that Trump is the world's most evil person alive. And I don't buy it. You know what I mean? I think that some of the shit that he says and how he treats reporters should not be a direct indication of who he is in general. He might talk to reporters like shit, but that's not an indication of who he is. Unfortunately, who he's talking to represents the media, and how he's perceived is exactly how he's talking to the media. The way that he's talking to the media is how he's being perceived. It's basically he's being perceived as a dick. So for anybody that's watching the news, such as your everyday most common person, like my employees, maybe some of the people you might run into at Starbucks, he's perceived as the most evil person in the world, according to the average American.
Yeah.
Now, according to the average Arizonian, if you were to say, I guess, fuck Trump to the typical person from Arizona,
yeah,
I'm just curious, how would that be met?
I don't know. I haven't really seen it, so I don't know. But I know a lot of Trump supporters here are very vocal about it, right? They don't hide it. And this is my thing, man. If you're so like fucking just emotionally one way on this subject, whether Trump is the God's gift to this country or Trump is the worst thing ever invented like since Hitler, I think you're both fucking just not like thinking rationally, and you need to check yourself a little bit because he's not the greatest human ever. He's definitely not that. I think he's proven that, but he's not Hitler. Okay. So like people need to shut up and understand that the media, and I guess, are we considered media now because we have a podcast? How does that work?
Full-blown media.
So
Yeah.
we're media. Okay. So we're part of the problem.
Oh, yeah. Combined between all of our outlets, we've got close to 44 subscribers. So that
Yeah.
combined
Yeah.
to 50 if we're going to include Instagram and Facebook followers.
So my thing is the media is doing exactly what they want to do, and everyone just fucking falls for it. And at some point, people just need to realize, like, it's not that bad, and it's not that great. Now he says it is. It's not the greatest. This is the problem. He says it's the greatest economy ever. Okay, I don't know how to like fact check that. I have no idea. Like, just
you gotta love it.
Yeah, like, all right, he keeps saying that, great. But then people who say this is the worst, like the country's been the worst. It's been like, what are you comparing it to? The fucking Spanish flu, time? Like, I don't get, like, the people who are just trying to divide the country. It works when I think there's a couple of things involved, and it's gonna hurt a little bit hearing this for some people. But either A, you're bored, right? B, you have nothing going for you, or C, you just get too fucking like just ride or die. You have to ride or die with this thing. Like, and you guys have to understand, we don't know anything about these people. We don't know what the fuck is really going on. So to sit here and be a fan, like it's Kobe Bryant or fucking like Die Hard, or hate something so much when you have no fucking idea what's really going on. It's just ludicrous to me. That's my stance on this whole thing.
No, I love your stance on it. So the question is okay, so say you got a client who insists on bringing up Trump.
Happens all the time. Yeah.
Do you get into a healthy conversation? Because you love to poke questions. You love to provoke specific conversations just to get the response, just to get a point of view. Do you get into it is the question.
So, yeah, because a lot of my friends really dislike me because there could be a Trump supporter, right? Die hard, goes at it, brings up Trump. We talk about it. And then I play devil's advocate, and I'm like, what, but is it? But like, what's really, he kind of fucked up. Like, what is it? But then there'll be the opposite of Trump, a Trump hater, fucking hates him. I'll fucking poke holes and question you. Like, so I'm very like, dude, whatever you bring at me, like, I'm going to fucking ask questions, because like, I'm not just going to blindly follow what fucking people are saying.
Right. So you want to neutralize an extreme point of view and really get what is the actual problem. And coming at this from a little bit of a different angle here, do you think that this would affect business negatively? Do you think that you are respected for doing what you're doing? Or do you think that you're more respected when you agree and try to build a commonality with prospective client?
So there's a couple of different ways to look at it, right? Because there are certain people who say, you know what, I just want to work with the type of people who I'm attracted to, right? And it's been very successful for some people. So I know a lot of people in business, they post, like, regardless if it's one side or the other, they're fucking heavy. And it's kind of like, dude, like, what are you doing? You're just like shutting off 50% of clients, but they don't care because they want to just work with the people they get along with in political views, which just kind of stupid to me, but okay. And then there's the ones like who just kind of sit back and just take it all in, kind of like what I do. Like I just, okay, what's your, there's some things that I will call out and I stand firmly against. And I'm just like, okay, that just doesn't make any sense. And I have no problem speaking about it, but it's like, I don't need to like on social media talk about what my beliefs are. That's where the difference is. Like my beliefs are my beliefs. I don't know why do you think so many business owners now more than ever have been like really so like gung-ho about the politics stuff? Like the other stuff, like I see a lot of people going to the sexual trafficking, kids, trafficking stuff. And that's really good because that's like people need to pay attention to that.
I see a lot of people getting into activism and doing a lot more nowadays to be involved and to try and solve a lot of problems. I guess there's a lot to be active about, between sexual trafficking, between social equality, this whole Black Lives Matter movement. There's a lot to be active about politically. So I guess my question is to a certain extent, being it that we're in retail, we're in some sort of face-to-face customer in front of us, human being in front of us constantly types of businesses, I guess where would you draw the line? I get it that, Shant, you don't have a hard opinion. You are never gonna be on the extreme end of any spectrum. But what about when the person that's in front of you is on the extreme end of the spectrum and you risk losing them as a customer or a client? Would you risk it as a customer or a client because you don't want to risk your political non-extremism?
So I met today the and I'm going to answer it kind of in a weird way. I met today the mayor, the vice mayor of Phoenix. The vice mayor. I never knew there was a vice mayor, but met her today. She's a Democrat, right? So I lean more towards the right than the extreme left. Okay, I'm a little middle, moderate, but I tend to lean a little right. Okay, so this Democratic mayor that is with me, I'm chatting with her, talking to her, would look, people would be like, I was about to actually take a picture with her and be like, hey, let's take a picture. It's not many times you meet a fucking mayor, right? Like, let's take a picture, post it. Then I was like, people are gonna be like, oh, Democrat, this, that, like, but then I realized, like, who gives a fuck?
Right.
But, she was talking about stuff going, yeah, go. What were you going to say?
What if the vice mayor was a Republican?
I still would feel weird taking a picture.
Good. Okay. I guess that's the answer that I wanted to get from you was did you even want to spark that debate or be associated in a certain way? Like, I don't want to come out and say Trump, and I don't want to come out right now and say Biden, but for the reason, not so much for the fact that I don't want to voice a particular direction that I swing in. It's to not turn off a potential client before I have the opportunity to express to them why it is that I support one over the other. Now, I don't support one over the other with any sort of enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm. So is that why? So the other question would be, are you not, or am I not, going one way or the other because are we just scared to lose business? And that's why there's certain people who just don't give a fuck, and just say, this is who I am. I support who I support, and I'm going to post it and not give a fuck. But my thing, why I don't, is because I'm not really that passionate about one or the other, because I just don't know. So is that why you don't do it? Or what's the reason why you don't want to lose? Is it because you don't want to lose business?
So a lot of people now jump to conclusions very, very quickly. So if I were to come out and voice my concern for voting for Trump and supporting Trump, it would be for his external policies, his foreign policies. So how he deals with Syria, how he deals with the Middle East, and sort of his foreign policies are what sort of piss me off about him. I don't get very, very pissed off with how he talks to the media.
Yeah.
So I just don't want people jumping to conclusions before I have the chance to first explain to them what it is exactly about my position on Trump. On that front, I don't like to talk about politics in business because for me, a lot of people, they come up with politics being the real reason, but it's not politics. It's not Trump. It's an underlying thing, right? That similar to me, his foreign policy here, they got rubbed the wrong way with his, rhetoric about gay people or you name it. It's a particular thing that he may have done, and we get emotional about it if you try. Yeah. And so there is no winning in this unless you're 100% with them when you're talking about politics. So it's just better to just leave it out because you don't want to even show any sign of disagreement. And if you show it, all of a sudden you became a little bit less human.
Well, yeah, and most people don't want to actually have a conversation. They believe what they believe for a reason, right? Because they really believe they're right. So, like, if you wanted to vote for Biden and I didn't, and I'm trying to explain to you why not, you don't give a fuck what I'm talking about.
I just think you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Right.
And my thing is, when did it, like, millennials and like when did politics become such a big fucking deal where this is like everything and anyone talks about? Before it was the news only talks about it, okay, whatever. But now it's like everyone, that's all anyone talks about. We never gave a fuck about that growing up, I feel like.
So I guess I'm just a little bit confused because you know what it is, Shant? The more and more social media became prevalent, the more and more the country's problems became highlighted. So before it was very, very quiet. Somebody got a dose of inequality and the world didn't hear about it. As in somebody, say for instance, let me give you an example of some sort of police violence against Black people. It happens. There is no body cam. Nobody had a Snapchat or an Instagram story to share. There was no immediate dissemination to social media. So now, because time has, brought on technology and the ability to immediately show and broadcast it, I feel like now it's become more and more common to see the country's problems and it starts to build up rapidly because it's getting shared, trending, etc. So I just think that before we didn't have this. You didn't have rapid trending events or anything like that. It could get quieted and just thrown under the rug very, very quickly. Now you can't. Now something happens and people are all over it. So I think that's why things are the way that they are now, because immediately on somebody's story.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Like it's more in front of you all the time now. But so like I have a friend, I hope he's listening because I'm going to make fun of him right now. He's a scientist and he always says, I don't do politics. I don't get into politics. I'm all about the science, this whole COVID thing. And he just bashes Trump all day. Right. But he just always brings up Trump, but he always says, I'm not into politics. And he's a big Biden guy or whatever. Actually, I don't know if anyone's a big Biden guy. I think he's just an anti-Trump guy. So Trump, I guess, said something about Erdogan, the Turkish idiot, and he said, oh, he's good or whatever. You know, Trump says stupid stuff. He said, oh, he's a good guy or something. I don't know what he said. And he posted that, and he's like, all you Armenians, you know, voting for Trump, you guys are idiots. And I was like, first of all, and I'm not saying I'm voting for Trump or anything. I just hate stupidity. So like I responded to him, I'm like, bro, you say you don't care about politics, but all you do is talk about politics and you just piss people off. And I'm like, I don't know if that's your whole point and it's working, but I'm like, if you're mad about Trump saying something good about Erdogan, there was a picture I sent him of Biden and Erdogan like hugging. So I'm like, what's your point? Like, and this is the thing that I always do to anyone, both sides, bro. Like, I'm just such a troll with like,
No,
people hate me.
good. It's good to be like that, especially now. That way people can they know not to bring up extreme points of view around you because they know that they're in for questioning.
Yeah, and it gets awkward sometimes when you're with a client, right? And then they bring it up and they're like, oh, fucking Trump's an idiot, right? And you're just like, or like,
Why did you say that just now?
well, like, what if I'm like a huge Trump guy? Or what if you're like, Biden's a fucking idiot? What if Biden is like my guy? Like, I don't get how people just all of a sudden are so
Just comfortable talking about I get nervous around people that feel comfortable enough talking about their political views around me because very few people that I know to be trustworthy are, put it this way, are that vocal with their political views, especially during a time where you could literally get attacked for saying MAGA. You could literally get attacked for supporting the president of the United States.
You might get attacked now because you technically said it.
Right. So at this point, anybody that I feel confident that would have my back would feel nervous talking about their political views in public because they know that it could be met with violence at this point.
Would you date a girl that is super MAGA or super anti-MAGA? Just like not like one or the other. Like it's like not saying pick one. Just would you date someone that's either like that, or you don't want anything like? What if she's like the best person ever, but she's so fucking MAGA or anti-MAGA? What are you doing?
So if I had to pick, I'd rather pick the girl that's anti-Trump versus pro-Trump because I know I'll get my ass kicked in public if decides to start screaming out Trump 2020 or wearing the fucking.
Get you beat up.
I would rather her be anti, even if I was like completely pro. That way I don't get my fucking face wailed on in like a parking lot in the movies or something. Well,
The best part is because like me and Betty don't like I kind of follow it now because of other just because it's everywhere. But Betty's not on social media a lot, so like I don't think Betty even knows who's running against Trump. Like I don't think she even knows, which is great.
show her the this is Joe Biden's husband. That clip. Real.
I mean, that guy has a lot of clips. Listen, I don't care what side you're on, okay? Because this is not a thing. I have yet to see one person tell me one positive thing about Joe Biden. And the guy seems like a nice guy. I don't know. Like, I think he's a little racist, but whatever.
I think he's just a pervert, man.
Yeah, like an old, like, creepy fucking whatever. But like, tell me something. I think it'd be funny if he's president because he's just going to be like, "Hi, I'm running for president." Oh wait, no, I am president. Like he's just going to say some weird shit, and it's just going to be funny to me.
I think everybody's just nervous to vote for him because we don't want to feel anxious every time he gets up to speak somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, no, and Joe's up. Like, you don't want to like. So anyway, real quick, kind of a serious subject. I was watching earlier what happened in Wisconsin last night. It's some fucked up. I don't even know what's happening at this point because peaceful protesters are out there doing exactly that, peacefully protesting. And then you got like this weird anti-fascist movement where they're like shouting and yelling and screaming at people for.
Yeah, those are the idiots that are the Antifa, whatever.
Stand it. But like, dude, I'm completely Black Lives Matter. Like I am, they got my support, man. Like I ain't a racist. I wish that more than anything, I wish that when I have kids and they grow up, at the very least, they don't hear racism at home. No matter what my wife's beliefs are, my dad's beliefs are, none of it. They don't get taught racism at home.
You have to look at these people less than like that's I think that's where it starts, right? The one thing they are going to get is me making fun of us, our Armenian people, about how we could just be annoying at times. They'll hear that a lot. Leo's going to hear that a lot. But as far as other races, like that's not going to fly, like you said. Obviously I support all my Black friends. They're like, a lot of them are like family to me, right? I grew up with a good amount of Black friends. My best friend, like, right? Black Lives Matter movement, I don't know. It's my thing is I don't stand with something unless I really, 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 really understand it. And there's a lot of things in the background that I don't know about yet. And there's a lot of negative stuff that I see that I think if people did a little bit more research, and I'm not saying I'm against it, I just don't know enough yet to sit there and claim that movement, like, because it's just a cool thing to do, right? Because it's a cool T-shirt, it's a cool fucking saying. I know where I stand as a human. I know where I stand with Black people, Spanish people, white people, Asians, Indians. So I don't need to like say or post about it because I know where I stand.
So you come from a much more diverse set of friends than
yes.
I never really had any Black friends.
Yeah.
I was when I was growing up. However, I have had a lot of Black customers. And it sucks because you constantly are met with by somebody who's wondering if you're a racist or not.
Yeah.
And to a certain degree, black people aren't stupid, man. Like, they know if you're doing it to show them that you're not a racist, or if you're just really just not a racist based off of your body language and how you interact with black people. Like, this is not my first time hanging around a group of black guys as a,
But sometimes it is. I mean, like, and I think this is what people don't understand. I was listening to like Tim Pool. He's a really good, like, political middle of the thing, not left, not right, where, you're used to what you're around, right? So if you grew up around a lot of Armenians, you feel like everyone else is a little different, and you're going to see them as less, not even less than, but just different, right? So it's normal. You don't have to be around like another. That's why I am so happy and so blessed that I grew up very multicultural, like, just playing sports, basketball, and just my friends were all different races. And I think it's a disservice, like, growing up in just an all Armenian community, because it doesn't open you up to like other cultures.
oh yeah,
Now, yeah,
it breeds racism for sure.
not racism. It's just, you don't know, like, you don't know what other cultures do and are about.
True. It's not being in the Armenian community that's breeding the racism. It's hearing one thing and only one thing that's limiting your ability to like take in other things. So they just make you nervous. You almost hesitate around them.
Yeah, I mean, it's normal, and people need to understand that. Like, we don't have to hide that. Like, if you're not used to a certain race, culture, if you're never seen a Muslim before, and then you see a group of Muslims coming, you're gonna feel a little weird. Like, I mean, I don't care who you are. So it's just getting out there and meeting different types of people. I think it's the best thing anyone could do.
So I guess from a business perspective, better to be on the more human side of the equation, or more on the politically, I don't know, politically side of the equation? Should you be more supportive of your black friends, or should you be more neutral in a pro-Trump state? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I'm just sort of dishing it up, some Wednesday night thoughts.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. Do you want to know who I'm going to vote for this year? I'll tell you right now. Are you ready?
Joe Biden's husband?
You guys should YouTube that clip. It's fucking hilarious. Joe Jorgensen.
He's running?
She.
Okay.
Don't be, hey.
Sorry for assuming gender.
Can't assume gender, bro. No, I'm not. I don't know if I don't know anything. I read some stuff about her. She seems pretty cool, but I don't know anything about her.
We should just cancel this year, man. I can't believe the elections this year as well. This is fucked.
It's going to be bad. Whatever happens, it's going to be bad. I just have yeah.
There's going to be so many anti-Trump. Just this year just needs to be over and done with, man. The best thing that happened this year is probably Leo. And and even Leo's pissed off.
Yeah, fuck, he's pissed off right now, and I think Betty's gonna be pissed off at me if I don't run out there and help her.
Let's do it.
So yeah, politics and business. To wrap it up, I don't think you should really, you know, be too involved in it unless you really are super, 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 like it breeds in your heart. But I don't think most people really, it does in politics. I think we're just in a time where it's in front of us and we want to prove our points to everyone. Just listen, advice to everyone, whichever side you're on, whichever you think, if someone has an opposing thought, respect it, listen to it, and move on. That's it. That's it. If we all do that, what happened?
Very wise words.
If we all just do that, we'd be a lot happier as a nation.
As a human race.
Yes. Because that's what we are. We're all humans. So let's start acting like fucking humans, please. My dog has a lot more class than a lot of fucking people going right now.
Lucy's a lady.
All right. That's all I got for today.
God damn it. It was excellent.
You guys got a lot of politics out of me. I don't talk politics usually. So.
Well, you didn't really talk. All you talked about was how you were politically.
You know, you could go viral. Like if they cut that MAGA, whatever you said for like that split second, you're done.
I am just, or maybe it would be the launch of my.
Yeah. And it's so, I don't know, whatever.
I said it twice too, not just once.
Yeah, you're a fucking multiple offender. Vote for who you want to vote for. Who gives a fuck? Just, it's, to me, people, okay, people need to like really understand life sometimes. Voting on a more local level does more for you than the president. Focus on local. Focus in your area. That's it. That's all I got.
Good night, Shant.
Good night, Ari.
Up, 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 up.